Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Deus Sparta boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Deus Sparta boxing gloves. Got mine in the matte black colorway, 16 ounces Velcro closure. You can also get these in lace up, 14 or 16 ounces, as well as 5 colorways, including this black. You can get this in white, silver, red, or orange. The glove is made of full genuine leather construction with multi-layer foam over the knuckle area, and the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Deus is a company based out of the UK, and this is going to be the very first pair of gloves I've tried from them. I was really excited to get my hands on these gloves. I've been using these part of my training rotation for the past couple of weeks. I have a really good idea on how these gloves perform. As you can see from a design standpoint, it's a pretty contemporary looking glove. There's not a lot going on in terms of branding. You don't have a ton of logos splashed all over the glove. And I do like that simplistic look of the glove, keeping it nice and clean. In terms of sizing and profile for a 16-ounce glove, I'd say these are pretty much spot on. And by that I mean they're not overly large and they're not too compact. So I can definitely see these gloves accommodating people of different sizes when it comes to their hand size. Even if you're someone that's smaller, that maybe have smaller hands, or you're someone that's larger that has larger hands, I think this will definitely be one of those gloves that's very accommodating. Just in the fact that they're very comfortable and it has a very soft, broken in feel. It's definitely not a stiff glove by any means, and that's one of my big pet peeves when it comes to boxing gloves, when they're extremely stiff and it takes a very long time for them to break in. But with these, you can see again, they're not too tall in terms of height, not too wide in terms of width. You do have the Deus boxing logo in silver on the back of the glove, and that's pretty much it in terms of brand designation. You do have the 3.5-inch Velcro strap with all black piping that goes all the way around. You have a 16-ounce weight tag here at the very bottom, a tricot liner on the inside, very nice and smooth, no bunching up there. Your standard elastic piece on the palm side that keeps the piping together, double stitching throughout. Perforated holes on both the palm as well as on the thumb, right underneath the grip bar. I'd say the grip bar in here is a good size. I'd say it's large and it has a medium firmness to it. And you also have a leather attached thumb right there. So again, a really clean looking glove. Quality wise, the gloves are really nice. I'd say the one area that I found, I guess you can consider it a discrepancy, was the weight. When I put these on the scale, I believe they came in at 15.1 or 15.2 ounces. The gloves are 16 ounces. So, you know, for the sake of this video, I'd say that they're about 1 ounce underweight. So that's something that they're going to have to sort out in terms of make sure they're a little bit more accurate when it comes to the weight. But when it comes to training gloves, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not super concerned unless it's like 2 or 3 ounces off. Then that's going to be a big issue, especially if you're using them for sparring. Obviously, you want to be transparent with your sparring partner on the size of your gloves. The last thing you want is to be wearing a 16-ounce gloves and they're like 13 ounces, obviously. So, but you can see here, the leather on here is very nice. It has a matte finish to it, so it's not very shiny. For those of you that prefer that matte look, these would be a good choice for you. But leather is really nice. Coming down to the Velcro strap, you can see there, that looks good as well. The stitching is all nice and symmetrical and pretty straight. The outside edges right there. Another thing I kind of noticed with these gloves, you'll notice that there's some silver markings, and that's just more or less, I think that's from the manufacturer. They mark it with a pen, and you can see some of the markings on here that they left behind that they didn't wipe off, but nothing too big of a deal there. And again, some of the holes could have been punched out a little bit cleaner on the ventilated holes. The attached thumb, where the thumb meets the index finger, looks really good. Coming down to the palm, again, stitching symmetry looks good. Nothing sticking out in terms of stitching. Velcro strap, you can see when you pull it real tight, it does have a little bit of overlap. Would have been nice to have that Velcro kind of wrap around towards this side of the Velcro, because if you have a smaller wrist or you just like your gloves really tight and snug, you will get a little bit of overlap. So if you're going to use these for sparring, one, I'd rather go with the lace-ups, or two, if you do have the Velcros, you're going to have to tape that off, just because the last thing you want to do is scrape your sparring partner with this side of the Velcro, which can definitely leave a big scrape. So should have had, to me, a little bit more of a lip right here of the other type of Velcro so that it can just fully attach on right there. Quality of the liner looks really good as well. nice and clean on the inside. You do have the Deus Sparta tag on the inside. It says 16 ounces. Really nice and comfortable, no exposed foam. And then about, I'd say, an inch of medium and soft density padding on the back of the wrist. I'd say you have maybe a 1/4 inch of padding that comes up to right here, and it kind of rolls around, and it comes up on this side as well. So you do have that foam on the wrist. Could have been a little bit more rigid. I feel that it's a little bit too soft, and because of that, you'll notice that the glove does have a little bit of sag. It's a little bit top heavy, and I feel like the back should be loaded with foam that's a little bit more rigid. Comfort wise, putting these gloves on, these are very comfortable gloves. You put on that Velcro strap that feels nice and secure. And again, you see you have a little bit of a lip. So for those of you that have smaller forearms, like myself, you might have a little bit of overlap. But the thumb feels perfect. Nice deep thumb. In terms of the actual ergonomics, thumb feels really good as well. Piping isn't too tight, even with hand wraps on. You can see that the attached thumb doesn't allow the tip of the thumb to stick out too far, and it isn't too short. So when you do make a fist, you don't have to worry about this collapsing down on the tip of your thumb. Liner feels good, no issues with bunching up anywhere in the hand compartment. So from all the way from your pinky to your index finger, feels really nice and comfortable. That tricot liner is very cool, very comfortable. It almost has kind of like a cooling type feel to it. It feels very comfortable in that regard. You don't feel like some of those foamy liners that you get. I think it was the Everlast gloves. I think they're called Evercool. I forgot the name of the liner that Everlast used to use in their gloves. They may still have it in some of their older gloves, but it had more of that foamy feel to it, and it felt like it got really hot, especially when you start to sweat and it starts to soak up. But these feel really nice and cool, and it has kind of that moisture wicking property to it. The depth of the finger compartment, perfect, nice and deep, not too wide, not too narrow. You have a secondary little piece of grip right here over the stitching, so you don't feel the stitching. And the biggest thing about these gloves that I love is going to be how soft and broken in they feel. So you can see, you can open and close your hands to parry your shots, and you just have that full flexibility that you're looking for when it comes to a glove, to have that level of autonomy when you make a fist and be able to open and catch a shot too. So definitely like that feature with these gloves. Very comfortable, didn't feel any area on the glove that was like feeling like it was pinching down or cutting off the circulation on my hand. So definitely nice in that regard. Protection and performance, you'll see that the foam padding on here, I'd say is more medium to soft. So you get a really good amount of feedback with these gloves. Really great for sparring, hitting the bag, hitting the mitts. I'd say that these are right between like a puncher's glove and a medium level protective glove. So they're definitely not overly stiff, they're not hard, and you can definitely feel your knuckles sink in when you make contact with whatever you're punching. You know, in this case, if I'm using on the heavy bag here, it feels really good, and you get a good amount of feedback, so you can really feel your shots landing. It's very satisfying, especially for those body shots. If you're one of those people that love to land that left hook to the body, or even doing a straight right to your left hook, it feels really good. And a nice sinking in feel. You can see that it has a really nice flat punch surface, and even when you land on those two front knuckles, that foam really compresses down nicely. So it feels really good. And there's a softer foam that kind of butts up against your hand on the inside as well. So I'd say kind of in between a puncher's glove and a mid-level protective glove in terms of like shock absorption. That's personally my favorite. I love puncher style gloves. I love softer gloves. Obviously, if you have a hand injury, that might not be the best decision for you, but in terms of just performance feel, that's usually my go-to in that regard. Cost-wise, these gloves are 99 British pounds, and currently, last I checked, when you convert it over to US dollars, they're about 125 US dollars, which is about right for a glove like this. Full leather construction, very comfortable, attractive, simple looking glove. You have a few different colorways. You can get them lace up, 2 different sizes. Not a bad deal, really. Honestly, you're getting a really nice performing glove, especially the foam, and just obviously the comfort of sliding your hand into the glove. But the foam is probably my personal favorite feature of this glove on how it feels when you land your shot with these gloves. So pros of the gloves, going to be the quality, the comfort, and the level of performance. I wouldn't even say protection, because that kind of goes into that performance category, but you just get a really nice feel when you're hitting the bag with these, or if you're to use these for sparring or hitting the mitts. It's all, good all-around training glove in the gym, and the price isn't too bad. Cons, I would say that there could be more colorways instead of just a solid, maybe going with the split colorway, and more sizes, because currently, at least on their website, they only have them in 14 and 16 ounces. So maybe something smaller, like a 10, 12 ounce, all the way to 18 for those of you that want something a little bit larger. But outside of that, everything else about these gloves are really nice. I think they hit a really good sweet spot in terms of the performance of the glove matching the pricing. And to me, that's really a good sign for Deus in terms of more products coming out in the future. Hopefully they do release more gloves. Maybe they come out with like a horsehair version of the Sparta, and maybe they have already or are in the works of making that. But so far so good. Really enjoy these gloves. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Deus Sparta boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.